Alright folks, welcome. My name is Henry Vargas once again, and today I'm going to begin teaching you some basic elements of one of the most highest paid lucrative jobs that you could actually look for. We're talking about copywriting, okay? Now, what is copywriting? Copywriting essentially is words that make people want to take an action that you want them to take. What does that mean? That's like, say for example, right now, I'll give you a perfect example. Before you got to this video, you saw a website that had some words written on it that asked you to fill in your name and email address to get some information, correct? And that's called copy. The letters on that website, as well as scripts and videos, as well as ads, flyers, any of those type of elements, the words that you use, that writing is what's called copywriting. So what's the significance of this and why does it matter to you? Well, like I said, copywriting is one of the most lucrative ways that you can earn money, and it's really even easier when you create a system, when you have a system that makes it a lot faster than writing. So a few things about copywriting. The reason it's one of the most well paid is because your words is what essentially brings in the money to the company, because your words have to be so effective, your communication has to be so compelling that the people reading what you wrote have to want to give their money to the company in exchange for the value that you've showed them through your words. Now, what does that mean, right? A couple tips on what it means, what that means, because essentially, when people when you buy something, you don't buy something because of knowledge or stale information. You buy it because there's a benefit associated with a positive emotion that caught your attention, that made you a promise, that you said, yes, I want that benefit, I want that promise, I want that result. What do I have to do to get it? That is what copywriting does. It creates that desire, and it also, not only does it create the desire, but it guides the person that desire is created in to take the action you want, whether it's a sale, whether it's filling in their name and email address on a form, whether it's making a phone call, whether it's liking a page, anything that goes along those lines. So right now, make sure you got your pen and your paper ready, because we're going to go over some stuff so we can get you some basic elements as far as copywriting, so that you can start looking for work as a copywriter. So the first thing you want to understand is that when somebody is looking, when an employee is looking for a copywriting, they're looking for a few things. They want to know, one, that you can understand, that you can quickly understand and identify with the market that they're looking for. In other words, let's say I'm a real estate agent, right? And let's say I have and I want to have an information product to people on how to get approved for a real estate loan. Okay, so I hire a copywriter to write up advertisements, to write up Facebook ads, to write up direct mail ads, and the website copy, video scripts, or whatever, to make the prospects that come to that website want to order this product. So you have to understand the needs that the person, that their market is looking for. And how do you do that? There's a couple tips. Here you go. Number one is you're looking at the industry that the person who is hiring you is in, i.e. real estate, fashion, plumbing. You find out whatever that community is, right? And you go into the forums, you search the industry plus forums, and you go into those forums and you just read a couple of the forums and you go through the conversations that the people are having. Because one of the most important things that you need to learn as a copywriter is how to talk in the conversation that's already going on in your prospects, in your client's prospects' mind. In other words, what are they already talking about? And that's what you can find out when you go into the forums. So you go into the forums and you find out, you see people that are saying, oh, my biggest problem about getting a real estate, about getting a new house is I don't know if they'll approve my credit. I don't know what to do to get good credit. Or maybe they say, I don't know where to find a loaner or a bank that will loan me the money. Then you realize, and you see the conversation that's going on in their head, the questions they have at the front of their mind, and then you, from that point, you take those bullets and those ideas and you write to that pain. You write to that issue that they're looking to resolve. So it's very important that you understand. This the main thing I'm going to share with you. This is a very important note for you. Write this down. Is you have to change when you're writing. You have to change the perspective from you, the person that's writing, to you, the person that's reading. Okay, so you have to speak to them, with them, from where they're at. You have to speak to them from their pains. You have to speak to them from the things that make them, from the results they want, from the relief of the pain. And you have to make sure that it's tied, that your words are tied to a benefit, a specific benefit, worded with emotion, with a positive emotional experience. And I'll repeat that. You want to make sure that when you communicate, what you're using is what you want to communicate to them in their pain. You want to communicate to them a benefit that's phrased with a positive emotional experience. That way your words are more compelling and the person reading it is more likely to say, yes, you know what, I can relate to that and I want that benefit, I want that result. So you want to make sure that you have that. You first make sure you make that shift to thinking about the person that you're writing to. Another thing that you can do to make sure to discover the conversation that's going on in the market is you do a search. Again, let's say, for example, let's say that we're talking about let's just keep with the real estate example, just because it's what we already started with. So you look into, you do real estate. You can do selling homes in quotations plus the phrase "so bad" in quotation marks. Also, what that's going to do is that's going to bring up all of the listings of people complaining, what their biggest complaint is about their real estate. Like, you know that when you're thinking about something and you use the phrase "so bad," it's a very heightened emotional point that you do it from. Like, let's say, I want to go. Let's say you want to go to Hawaii, but you have a lot. If you have a lot of desire to go, you say, "Man, I want to go to Hawaii so bad," and that's a heightened emotional state that you want to that you can communicate to. So you find the people's highest pain point by doing that search. Again, with the industry or the category or the specific market plus "so bad." And again, you have to use not only communicate to them from where they're hurting, but you also want to communicate to them with their words, because every community has a language. It has its own sayings. It has its own way it speaks. For example, if you listen to someone who's grown up listening, for example, if you go into the classical world community, right, the classical music community, and you put a rapper in that community there, and you put there's going to be confusion. They won't be able to communicate. And if you put someone from the classical music industry community into the hip hop community, this is going to be hard for them to communicate because it's two different worlds within the world of music. So you want to make sure that you use the same words, because the people who are reading that are going to feel like, wow, this person is part of my community. I can relate to this person. This person understands me because they speak the same language I do. It's like saying they speak the same dialect that I do. And again, those are the words that you can get from doing that "so bad" search, as well as Wikipedia to find the vocabulary within those communities as well. Something else that you want to do is go ahead and you want to make sure that you understand very clearly. You want to build the profile. If the person that's hiring you can't deliver to you a ideal customer profile or average customer profile, then you'll want to go in and search that and create that customer profile, so that you can have someone that you can actually look at as an example of who you're writing to. And when you're writing, you always want to make sure that you communicate towards that person, because even though not everybody watching and not everybody reading is going to be that person is going to be a representation of the average person that's reading the material that you've written. So again, you want to make sure that you have those key elements of communicating to them from where they're at in their conversation they're already having. Secondly, you want to make sure you're using the right vocabulary, using their vocabulary by doing the "so bad" searches. And you can actually find out the average age of your of your audience also by doing a search in Twitter with related key terms to real estate, buying a home, so forth. And you can actually also do a Google image search with the same, again, with the industry and the age that you found out, roughly estimate through Twitter. And you can build that actual profile so that you have somebody that you can talk to, that you can see that, okay, this is who I'm talking to, this is how I need to communicate with this person. So that's about all that we will share with you now. We're looking forward to sharing another module with you on 3 very important elements about your marketing before you go ahead and actually get into the writing of it, into the writing of that. So we look forward to seeing you on the next video.